When was the last time somebody asked you for what you needed and you actually told them? Here's the thing about people pleasing that nobody talks about. It looks like kindness. It feels like kindness. And sometimes it is kindness. But underneath that, it's actually about making yourself feel safe. Let me explain. People pleasing usually starts as parent pleasing. When we are a child, we are a dependent. We can't just leave a situation that feels unsafe. If you had a parent or caregiver who had big feelings and was not good at emotionally regulating, then that probably felt pretty unsafe as a child. If somebody's like stressed out, agitated, walking around with all of this tension, that can be quite uncomfortable to live with. And so as a child, your best strategic option is to try to calm that adult, your carer, down. And how do we do that? We do that by being agreeable. We make them a cup of tea. We ask them if they need help with something. We give, right? And that is a really good strategy for when you're a child and you can't just leave the situation. When you're an adult and these behaviors have become baked in and you are just repeating the same strategy, there is a cost. And I see this a lot with the people that I work with. I work with some incredibly considerate, kind, thoughtful, observant individuals. And these kinds of people are a delight to be around. They make excellent friends. They notice if something's not going well. They follow up with thoughtful questions because they remember what's going on in your life. They are wonderful friends. They are nice people to be around. And sometimes they are exhausted. They are burnt out because they're running this strategy that involves them monitoring all the time. So it's not just people pleasing to make sure that everyone's happy. The baseline for that is this hypervigilance. And they are people who identify as empaths. They walk into a room and they can kind of feel the emotional vibe of what's going on. And if something's not right, they're there to sort of smooth out the bumps and the tension. And they're doing a really important job and they're working full time and they're not getting paid. And they often say yes when they mean no. They will often put other people's needs before theirs. They're the kind of people that are likely to burn out from overgiving. They might frame a request as an apology. They might express guilt at having preferences. And the painful thing is that they don't see what they're doing a lot of the time. They don't think of it as a choice. It's kind of baked in behavior. This strategy has become calcified, and now this is just their modus operandi. Does any of that sound familiar to you? Here's the thing that I want you to understand. People pleasing is not a personality flaw. It's a strategy. And actually, it was a really smart strategy for when you were young, for when you were in unsafe spaces. This is probably a strategy that kept you safe, that allowed you to move through the world with a lot more ease. But the thing is now, it's an outdated strategy. We need to update the software because this strategy is costing you more than it's protecting you. So what I've seen in my own life and with my clients is that bringing awareness to this strategy, this part of you that's working so hard to keep you safe, that has worked so hard and so successfully to keep you safe, starting to see that for what it is, which is a protective mechanism. It's not something to despise or to think of as a weakness. I actually would say thank you to that part. And when you can do that, when you can recognize that actually this was a really great thing, and maybe it's like a hat that I don't need to wear anymore, then we can start to shift this behavior. You can start to notice in yourself when maybe something is a no instead of a yes. You can start to observe when you're ready to give from a place of genuine generosity as opposed to looking for recognition or trying to keep the peace. And the relationships that survive these shifts in you, they get better. You start to have more deep connections with people because they are beginning to see the real you, the you that would say no to some things. If this is landing for you, if you feel seen in this video, then I offer a complimentary 60-minute coaching session. I would be very happy to invite you into that space and to talk about certain strategies that we could use to help you work through this kind of thing. If you're not ready for that, I'm also running a workshop series, and this one's really nice because you can connect with other people who are experiencing the same sorts of difficulties and working through it in real time. So you get community, and we also do a lot of role play and scenarios and sharing. So it's very hands-on, very interactive. I'll put the link to that in the description as well. Either way, I'm glad that you're here. Starting to express curiosity about these things is a really important start, and just bringing awareness is actually really the most important first step. From here, everything else is just kind of practice and understanding the frameworks and maybe having a few tools and tricks to kind of get you through it. So good job, and I hope to hear from you soon. If you want to drop something in the comments about your experience with people pleasing, maybe you've overcome it already and you want to share, I would love to celebrate your successes.